everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, and it's time to get your bloody water wings on, because it's time to talk about AEW Dynamite from the cruise ship, from the Jericho cruise. What's this? It's a bloody octopus. Whoa! Tom Campbell gets away with doing that sort of stuff, doesn't he? Why can't I? Why can't I? That's my question. That's right, this week's Dynamite was from Jericho's Rockin' Wrestling Raging cruise ship station. And there's only one way to find out how good the show itself was, and that's by assigning each individual segment a lovely individual grade. So let's waste no further time and let's bloody crack on! We open the show with tag team title action as the champions SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, take on the #1 contenders Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. But can they get along? Tensions are a-brewing. I guess we'll find out. And might I say, before I talk about the action, that I really enjoyed the unique setup of the cruise ship. Yes, the wind may have affected, the audio at times and various things like that, but I think visually it was a very striking show, and I think it really worked to its benefit. There are some nice early wrestling exchanges between various combinations of the four men involved, until Hangman Page takes a German suplex right on his head. He lands, and thankfully he seemed to be fine. Well, I guess he was fine, because just a few moments later he's jumping from the top rope into the front row of the crowd with a big bloody axe handle. So I guess he did shake that off pretty well, actually. He's tough. The momentum swings back and forth, and at one stage it looks like the champions have got this in the bag fairly early on as SCU hit the SCU later on Kenny Omega, but then Hangman Page is in the ring just in time to shove Scorpio Sky into Kazarian's pinfall attempt and break it up at the very last second. Excellent timing on that spot. And at this point, Hangman just goes total beast mode, as the YouTubers like to say, dragging Kenny Omega over to their own corner, tagging himself in, taking out Scorpio Sky on the ramp with a lovely buckshot lariat, and then one back into the ring as well for Kazarian, and that's enough to pick up the pinfall, and we have new AEW Tag Team Champions. It's the first title change in AEW history. After the match, the Bucks come out to celebrate with Kenny and Hangman, but Hangman doesn't want to celebrate with the rest of the Elite. He is no longer a member of the Elite, and tensions have been bubbling occasionally to the surface. He instead goes to the front row, sinks a few beers, and then gets in the crowd and crowd surfs his way up to the top of the stage. And from there, Kenny points at him from the ring, and Hangman's like, "Yeah, we did it, buddy," but you can tell he's still very conflicted. This gets a lovely A grade from me to start things off. I think the match itself was probably an A-, but the fact it was for the tag titles, the stakes, and also the lovely little touch of storytelling at the end bumps it up to an A grade. Oh, what a way to start off this bloody cruise control wrestling show. Chucks away. That's for planes, not for the boat. The second match follows straight away, and it's Priscilla Kelly making potentially her Dynamite debut. She may have appeared on pre-shows of pay-per-views before in like Battle Royals and stuff, or maybe in a dark match. But I think this is her Dynamite debut, correct me if I'm wrong. She's taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This match doesn't go on for that long. Priscilla Kelly dominates the opening stages of it, and probably the middle portion as well. She's really going to town on Britt Baker, DMD. But then all it takes is for Baker to dodge a strike of some sort from Priscilla Kelly. Then she nails a super kick, and that leads to the lockjaw submission victory. Not a long match, but there's more to say on the mic afterwards. Tony Schiavone gets in the ring and interviews Britt Baker, DMD, afterwards, and basically she rips into him. She fully heels out, but in a passive-aggressive sort of way. She sounds really unmotivated and sort of a lazy drawl on the microphone, but I think it's deliberate. Not quite certain what they're going for here, but it's interesting, to say the least. Yeah, Baker really rips into Tony. She says, "Well done, Tony, you've made it. Everyone's here for you. We all love you, Tony, because you came from nothing. You were just a crappy little barista at Starbucks." And everyone's like, "Whoa! Bit harsh, Britt, what are you talking about? That's a proud job for anybody who wants to get on the wage ladder." I sound like I don't know how adult life works. Britt then talks herself up, saying she's the most beautiful girl here, she's smart, she's a dentist, by the way. And then I think they must have overran, because Jim Ross goes, "Yep, well, that's enough of that. See you in a bit." And that's it for this segment. This gets a C- from me. It was odd. The match was the match struggled to follow that really high energy opener, and was definitely slower and less intense than that tag team match. But they did all right. But it's that promo at the end as well. It was strange. Hopefully it goes somewhere. But for now, I can't award it more than a C-, unfortunately. Next up, 6-man tag team action as Jurassic Express take on Santana, Ortiz, and Chrissy J from the Inner Circle. The entrances are really good here. Everyone's hot for Jurassic Express's entrance. Marco's stunt being scared by his own pyro is really, really fun. And then Jericho's entrance, man. Everyone's singing Judas, even after the song's cut out, at the top of their lungs. It must have been a fantastic moment to be there live. It just looked like so much fun. Jurassic Express really dominate the opening stages here. At one point, the referee misses a perfectly legal tag from Marco's stunt and tells him to get out of the ring, and he shouts, "I'm legal!" But it doesn't really matter because Jurassic Express are just running wild. Double team moves, triple team moves here and there. They're really dominating these opening exchanges until the heels work their way back into it, as they so often do, guys, in wrestling. But the babyfaces come back into it. Hot tag to Luchasaurus. He's dishing out strikes to everybody like the kung fu dinosaur that he is. Santana at one point tries to chop him down with several chops to the chest. None of them work, and Santana just throws his arms up resigned, like, he's much bigger than me, guys. What on earth can I do? Turns around, straight into a big boot to the face. Lovely stuff. Jake Hager is on the ramp, and he's seen quite enough of this and hits Luchasaurus over the top rope behind the referee's back. Luchasaurus is understandably very pissed, tags in Marco's stunt and gets out the ring, and they pretty much brawl to the back all the way up the ramp. Luchasaurus is now out of the match. Job done from the ultimate distraction, Jake Hager. That's his nickname. Don't Google it. Stunt is now the legal man and hits a lovely 450 onto Chris Jericho, but Le Champion kicks out, and now Stunt is isolated against Chris Jericho, and it's not very long before he runs into a Judas effect back elbow, and that's enough for the 3 count. Some really good analysis from me here on my notes. All I have is B+, that's the grade that this match gets, B+, and just fun. That's the only thing I wrote. Cheers, Jack, from the past. Really helped you out there, buddy. What a dickhead. Next up, boo! It's time for MJF, and he comes out healing it up all the way throughout his entire entrance, just being horrible to members of the crowd who are loving it, because wrestling's weird like that. Janela, in contrast, has like the ultimate babyface entrance. He's coming out, everyone's like, yeah, the bad boy's here, it's time for a party on the cruise ship. He prays to a man dressed as Jesus in the front row, which is certainly unique, I'll give him that, and the match is underway. MJF busts out all of the heel tactics here, the fake handshake, the eye poke, the spitting in the face, the using the referee as a human shield. They end up on the ramp at one point, and MJF just charges at Joey Janela, and Janela backdrops him all the way over the top rope and into the ring. That's a very nice spot. But Janela bravely gets back into the match, heads up top, and then bloody Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford come out on the ramp and start making out, as the Americans say. Obviously, that's Janela's ex-girlfriend. He is distracted by this, and that allows MJF to regain control and hit the double cross for the dirty, tainted heel victory. This match gets a B. It was good, it was fun, clear babyface heel dynamic, a little distraction to further a separate storyline, but that's not all that was said and done. Let's talk about MJF's promo segment afterwards, which I've assigned its own grade because I feel like it was a different part of the show, really. Janela is, he heads to the back all dazed and defeated, and MJF's on his own in the ring. He gets the microphone, and he references Cody's line from last week. I loved Cody's line last week when he said, "As anyone who's clashed with the Rhodes family knows, this isn't your story, you're just a chapter in mine." And MJF goes, "You know what, Cody? You were right. I am just a chapter in your book. I'm the last chapter." Oh, it's poetry at the wrestling at sea. What more can you want? But here's Cody do a monstrous babyface reception. He heads down in a lovely summery suit. It's not the summer, but they are at sea. He gets in the ring and MJF goes, "Whoa, stop there. Cut this man's music. You can't touch me, Cody," as per the stipulations leading up to our eventual match. And Cody's like, yeah, you're right. And Cody just looks so sad and defeated, man. MJF even mocks his lisp. He says, I'm so sincerely sorry for that. And Cody is just, he looks aghast. He holds out his hand to take the mic from MJF. MJF drops the mic on the canvas and kicks it away from Cody. And Cody's just, we've never seen Cody look quite this uncool before. Can he get his mojo back? We'll see. MJF bails slowly because he's got nothing to be afraid of because Cody can't touch him. MJF just gets on the ramp, gets out the ring, and he's backing up the ramp, and Cody's finally on the mic and says, "You know what, Max? You're right. I can't touch you, but these guys can." And MJF turns around, bang, straight into a double super kick from those bloody, young, Bucks, and everyone is just delighted to see them. The Bucks then channel their sort of being the Elite days with just a harmless rib on MJF. They throw him in the pool. Classic stuff. It is certainly still party time here on Jericho's cruise ship. And MJF, as Ross said earlier today, he said that MJF did some excellent floundering in the pool, and the Bucks laugh at him because he can't swim. that man might drown. Someone should probably save him. This gets a B+. It was fun, wasn't it? Fun segment of the show. MJF gets a measure of comeuppance. He gets thrown in the pool. It wasn't the angle that Cody and MJF have done with the most substance to it out of everything they've done over the past few months. But I did enjoy it, and I do think it was fun. And it's just nice to see someone go in the pool, isn't it? Hey! Phone up the beers. We now head backstage to the top deck. We head somewhere that isn't ringside on the cruise ship to interview, well, Tony is interviewing the new Tag Team Champions Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. There's a very good, subtle tension in this promo that builds throughout and then kind of explodes at the end. It's really, really good. Basically, Hangman Page keeps getting cut off. First of all, Kenny Omega cuts him off when Tony asks about their win. Then Tony cuts off Hangman to ask Kenny Omega about this upcoming potential rematch with PAC. And then the Bucks cut off Hangman, joining in, crashing the interview to celebrate with their boys. And Hangman, it's such a good throwaway line. He just goes, you know what? I'm surprised we won these titles before you guys did. And then he walks off. And it's just, the tone of it is absolutely perfect. This gets an A- grade. It was, even though it was just a little backstage segment, it was very, very well done. Very nice indeed. And it's the sort of thing that's going to serve this eventual Hangman storyline, whatever it is, it's going to serve it really, really well in the long run. These little building blocks that can always lead to an excellent payoff further on down the line. And finally, the main event, the #1 Contenders match for Jericho's AEW World Championship. It's PAC versus Jon Moxley, with Jericho himself on guest commentary. Early on, the crowd were all chanting F that boat at a bigger cruise liner which pulled up alongside the Jericho Rockin' Rager wrestling boat ship. At the start of the match, where have I gone there in my head? At the start of the match, and the crowd all going F that boat, and Moxley helps them out. Shoots the double bird. Don't know if I can do it on camera. Will that have to get... I'll not do it. Moxley helps him out, flips the double bird at the other bigger boat. And everyone's like, hey, and Moxley's like, right, can we concentrate on the wrestling now, please? Moxley looks the stronger of the two, but of course PAC goes after that injured eye, which Jericho drove a spike into on last week's Dynamite. Dirty heel tactics from PAC. Do we expect anything less from the Honey Badger himself? There's some fun crowd bits. They brawl up to the top deck, they brawl all the way back down the steps, back into the ring, but eventually PAC looks well on top and then misses the Black Arrow. From then, it's not long until Moxley hits the paradigm shift. 1, 2, PAC kicks out and wisely rolls to the outside of the ring to kill some time and allow himself some time to recover. They head up to the top rope eventually, and PAC hits a beautiful superplex from the top rope, straight into the brutalizer as well. It looks like Moxley's about to give up or pass out, but he makes the ropes and everybody explodes with delight because it's a party at sea. Don't know if I've mentioned that already. Moxley is kind of able to gather his composure really a little bit and just catch PAC with another paradigm shift out of nowhere, and doesn't allow PAC to get out of the ring this time, instead dropping in with a second high angle paradigm shift. And that's enough for the 3 count. Jon Moxley is the new #1 contender, and all is right in the world. This gets an A-, a very good main event match, very enjoyable stuff, even if the winner was never seriously in doubt. And also, we get a memorable close to the show as Jericho gets up from the commentary table and stands at the top of the ramp, staring down Jon Moxley, who has a very good chance, I would suggest, at taking that belt from him. Overall, this show gets an A- from me. It was really good. There was a lot of very good stuff on the show, some little weak points here and there, but there was nothing outright bad, I would say that. And also, almost as much as the action and the storyline development, I really enjoyed the cruise ship element. I enjoyed the unique atmosphere that this show was held in, so that definitely gives it a little boost too. A- is the grade. Strong week for AEW. Let's hope they can keep it up. See you next time. Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.